There is enormous demand for mature, compelling stories in the Pokemon world. But before we delve into the world of fan-created content, what official games, anime, and manga should teens and adults be looking at? Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, it's Charles. How are you today? Do I look like a classic Bond villain with this awkward white turtleneck? Let me know. Today's video is a follow-up to last week's The Need for an Adult Pokemon Anime, in which we explored the evidence, the data behind the demand for a mature Pokemon anime and discussed why exactly there is an untapped market need for such an anime. This time, we will be exploring a set of stories that are as close to mature as we are likely to get within the scope of official Pokemon stories. And as stated in part 1, by mature, we are talking about mature stories with serious plot development, tension, and compelling story arcs, real weight and consequences tied to characters' actions and major events, and complex characters with complex relationships, both non-romantic and romantic. Bearing that in mind, these are my recommendations to fans craving more mature stories than what the main series games and main series anime provide, and these materials set the stage for part 3 of our video series, in which we will be walking through a basic framework for a true 25-episode Pokemon banger anime targeting teens and adults who desperately need a little bit more gravy on their Pokemon potatoes. And as always, it will be a fun time, so kindly request your Machoke to cross-chop that like button for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe, and do dive into our new Backstories series. Play patty cakes with that notification bell so you at least have a 3% chance of getting notified of new videos. And let's jump right in. Let's start off with a pair of long-forgotten video games, Pokémon Colosseum and Pokémon XD Gale of Darkness. Whereas the average Pokémon story follows a time-tested, predictable formula with a newbie trainer who goes on a lighthearted romp across the lands during which they catch Pokémon, make friends, and win badges, Pokémon Colosseum threw that formula straight to the wind and delivered a tale that was more serious and more gritty than that of any Pokemon game that came before or after. This is apparent from when the game opens with Wes, a protagonist on a hit list with a story to tell, blowing an organization's base into smithereens and ripping out of the scene on a gnarly bike as if his name is Cloudstrife, with his BFFs Umbreon and Espeon in tow, tearing his way out into Ore, a region with a sense of space and isolation, a world apart from most Pokemon games. And as we discover, Wes was once the supreme thief in a criminal organization of Pokemon snatchers, but is now using the organization's technology against the forces of darkness in an effort to steal back abducted Pokemon and free them from lives as experimental subjects in the Shadow Pokemon program. Pokemon Colosseum is so different from other games in that it pitches players into the dirty underground of a Pokemon world overrun with crime and corruption, shadow Pokemon that even attack trainers during battles, more adult tones with liquor and flirtation, tournaments that are linked into a darker, broader narrative. And while I will save the detailed rundown for another day, I definitely recommend this game to Pokemon fans who want a look at the not-so-pretty underbelly of the Pokemon world. Also, CoroCoro Comic actually adapted the game's plot into a manga titled Colosseum Snatcher Leo, so you can also check that out if you want to enjoy the story but don't feel like grinding through the entire game. And there is also a sequel, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, for those who wish to venture further into the world of Ore, though I personally think that Pokemon Colosseum offers a more compelling experience on the whole. But there you go, a reasonably mature Pokemon game that is worth checking out. Origins, Generations, and Twilight Wings. For those wishing that the main anime series had a more serious tone and more tension along the lines of a proper shonen anime, and to some degree, and in some cases, more interesting characters, then the trio of online Pokemon anime are certainly worth your time. And you can blast through all 3 of them in just 3 hours. And I don't know if that is a good thing because you will almost certainly be left wanting more, but there you go. So firstly, we have Pokemon Origins, a 90-minute special split into 4 episodes of great content closely tied to the plot of Pokemon Red and Blue, but with Megastones added into the mix. Mega Charizard versus Mewtwo in Cerulean Cave, that sounds like nothing short of magic to me. As games, Red and Blue certainly had a more mature tone to them than the main series anime has ever presented, and the aesthetics of Origins give this show more of a big boy feel as well. So in preparation for part 3 of this video series, at the very least you may want to get your feet wet with Origins to get a taste of what a mature Pokemon anime might feel like. And of course, beyond being more mature than the main anime series, it is also a more faithful retelling of 2 very classic games that anyone who has played Pokemon Red and Blue will certainly want to see. The second of the online trio, and an anime that is perhaps even better than Origins, is Pokemon Generations, a series of 18 3 to 5 minute episodes showcasing short stories inspired by Generations 1 to 6 of the Pokemon games that are so fire that they will make you wish there was a 2 in front of that 3 to 5 minute runtime. Seriously, Generations is worth any Pokemon fan's time, young or old. And perhaps even more so than Origins, Generations translates some of the Pokemon series' most shadowy characters, intense battles, and high-stakes situations into an anime format with a cinematic feel that has really remained out of reach of most official Pokemon materials. From a full-scale police raid on Team Rocket's HQ to Lance and Dragonite kicking ass and taking names in the Mahogany Town sting-op, to spooky times at the old chateau, Generations portrays these events in a way that will leave an impact on Pokemon fans. And one of the best aspects of Pokemon Generations is the detective Looker, whose quest to bring down and keep down evil organizations brings a sort of detective story angle on the struggle between the Pokemon universe's bodies of law and its evil organizations, focusing in on an interesting conflict that has largely been overlooked in most other official materials. It's good stuff. Lastly, we have Pokemon Twilight Wings, and this has to be my favorite of the 3. Essentially, Pokemon Twilight Wings puts the battles and the adventure on the back burner to instead take a look at the inner struggles of prominent characters in Galar, to touch on the themes of illness and death that we all have to grapple with at some point in our lives, and to, more than anything, deliver a narrative that is truly touching and full of hope. Twilight Wings is awesome. My only problem with it is that there isn't more of it. With just 7 episodes that hover around the 5 to 7 minute mark, plus 1 extra tacked on episode, which was beautiful, but not really worth considering under the same light as the original 7 episodes. The bottom line is that you simply must watch Twilight Wings if you want to enjoy a more humanistic element of the Pokemon universe. Lastly, let's talk about the manga, because there are in fact several manga, and there are a couple more mature stories that are certainly worth taking a look at. Firstly, we have The Electric Tale of Pikachu, a manga that was heavily censored in its English release for going a little bit overboard on the fan service. But setting that aside, I think that a lot of older fans would enjoy this 4-volume manga, as it really does justice to the desire of many fans for true romantic fulfillment in the Pokemon world. Misty falls for Ash, he seems to reciprocate her feelings, Jessie and James get married and put a little rocket bun in the oven, and Professor Oak transforms into a proper Jilf. certain to sweep all of the village ladies off their feet. The electric tail of Pikachu is silly, but it really plays up the elements of characters in a way that you will not see much of in other official materials. So if the fan service and the romance are up your alley, then you will certainly enjoy it. And there are a variety of other manga out there, including Magical Pokemon Journey, a manga targeting girls that's focused on romance and features a world in which most Pokemon can actually speak, an interesting notion in itself. And of course, we also have the hilarious Pokemon gag manga Pocket Monsters that will likely get a real chuckle out of you. I know that I certainly love that series, but the manga that I wanted to focus your attention on is of course Pokemon Special, known in its English release as Pokemon Adventures. If you've been watching my videos for a while, then you know that I am a huge fan of this series, so let's not mince words. Pokemon Special is the gold standard of storytelling in the Pokemon universe. And if you are looking for the most mature of the official materials available in terms of rock-solid story arcs, tense multi-chapter battles accompanied by serious plot development, and interesting characters who really walk the line between good and evil, and actually age, well, then you don't need to look any further than Pokemon Adventures. Major story arcs that are self-contained but also linked together by iconic heroes and villains who transcend their own arcs to make an impact years down the line, even after the next generations of trainers are in the process of carving out their own legends. Consequence at the level of serious injury, death, and widespread destruction, with intense situations that are true page-turners, and long developing romance that actually comes to a head in a way that is genuinely heartwarming. Just imagine if the entire main anime series played out like the movies, but they were all better and linked together into a continuously expanding tale with a continuously growing cast of characters and more nuance than we have seen in just about any other material generated in the Pokemon universe. Pokemon Adventures is, as Satoshi Tajiri, the creator of Pokemon, once said, the most accurate interpretation of the world he intended to convey with the original games, and it is an interpretation that you yourself certainly deserve to walk through if you consider yourself as a person who wants a little bit more gravy on your Pokemon potatoes. Those are my picks for fans who are craving a taste of more mature storytelling within the official Pokemon universe. So be sure to take a look if you haven't experienced any of these stories already. I'm sure that you will enjoy them. But of course, they still don't touch the untapped potential of the airtight, electrifying tales that could be out there winning the hearts of teens and adults around the world. So be sure to check back when we get to part 3 of this video series, wherein we will explore the ingredients for a truly mature Pokemon anime in further depth and bang out a 25 episode plan for the mature Pokemon anime of our dreams. Well, thank you for tuning in today, everyone. Do check out part 1 of this video series, The Need for an Adult Pokemon Anime, if you haven't already. Take a look at the new backstories series that has sprung up in the past couple weeks. Don't forget to follow me over on Twitter or Instagram. And until next time, as always, let's chat.